Today on Carolina News, take to the House. The plastic bag bill is under debate today, and we'll tell you why your local businesses might not be allowed to use plastic bags anymore. Wearing thin. Governor McMaster asked President Trump for $5 billion to fix SC roads. Is relief coming? And fleeing from the flu. How bad is your area infected? Next on Carolina News.
Live from the capital city, Carolina News brings you your news first. With breaking news and in-depth reporting. Up-to-the-minute weather. And all your sports news and highlights. It's all here, now, on Carolina News.
Hello and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Bryan Solomon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Danielle Williams.
The South Carolina House of Representatives continued debating a bill urging to develop a statewide policy when it comes to the use of plastic bags. Carolina News reporter Allison McHugh took a look at both sides of the debate.
No one likes coming in on a Saturday, especially when it's to pick up trash. For Katie Zimmerman, it's a part of her life. As a member of the South Carolina Coastal Conservation, Katie teamed up with other conservational groups this weekend to help clean up heavily polluted areas by the South Carolina coastline.
That's right there. I mean, that's it. That's the last chance we have to grab it before it goes out into the ocean and becomes an even bigger problem.
Katie recently took to the State House to oppose the plastic bag bill proposed by Representative Eric Bedingfield of Greenville County. He believes he's fighting for businesses, as they're the ones who may be hugely affected by the current law.
We're just looking for some uniformity that'll give businesses the comfort of knowing they can do business in Greenville, just like they can do business in Charleston, just like they can do business in Columbia.
But some say there's an even bigger issue with this bill. The opposition believes it takes power from local government and giving it to people who work here at the state level. Traditionally, South Carolina relies on home rule, meaning they leave authority up to local governments.
Taking away the ability of local government to even consider how to solve these problems if they want to solve the problems, if they have a problem. So it really is a violation of trust.
But not everyone agrees.
This is in no way an encroachment on home rule. The state created home rule. The state determines how home rule is dealt with.
Debate is not over, and neither sides are backing down. But they all believe that recycling and accountability play a huge role in the plastic bag problem.
I think we're all agreed, even the legislators who are supporting this bill, I've heard them say in committee meetings, this is a serious people problem.
While legislators and lobbyists continue to duke it out, we can all do our part to keep our oceans clean. Allison McHugh, Carolina News.
The House debated the bill today, but there has still not been a final vote. But Representative Bedingfield ensures that if the bill is passed into law, the two cities who already have bans on plastic bags, Folly Beach and Isle of Palms, their policies will not change.
A 2015 study by National Transportation Research Group found that South Carolina drivers spend upwards of $1,200 a year fixing their cars because of bad roads. Commuters experiencing a bumpy ride could be getting some relief soon. Governor Henry McMaster sent this letter to President Trump asking for $5 billion for road repairs in South Carolina. McMaster said the roads are worn and inadequate, others dangerous. He blames natural disasters for the wear and tear on the roads. Poor road conditions also have residents' patience wearing thin.
I got back home and took it to the mechanic just because I figured I had to get it taken care of, and that did not go to plan. I was just figuring I had to get a oil change, but that turned into over $1,500 worth of manufacturing on my car, and they told me blatantly that it was because of the roads.
Governor McMaster says this plan will help bridge the economic gap and ignite prosperity in South Carolina.
Betsy DeVos was confirmed by the Senate today as the new Secretary of Education. The vote came to a first ever tie, where the tie-breaking vote was casted by Vice President Mike Pence. Her victory comes after Democrats held the Senate floor for 24 hours, trying to persuade Republicans to flip. DeVos tweeted out appreciation for the Senate's diligence in how she will improve education for American children. But unlike DeVos, many were unhappy. Democratic Senator Chuck Schumer, a strong opponent of DeVos, tweeted that her confirmation is a result of a rigged cabinet because Vice President Pence's tie-breaking vote resulted in his administration's victory.
Tornadoes have struck the city of New Orleans today, with at least 4 confirmed. They first touched down late this morning, and there have been confirmed damage to many houses and business in the area. Thankfully, there have been no known reports of injuries or deaths. This is a developing story, and we will continue to update you as more information comes in.
Things are looking pretty nice and sunny outside, Kaylin. Please tell me this weather is here to stay.
Well, yes, Brian, the weather is beautiful here in the Horseshoe. If you take a look behind me, you can see everyone is enjoying this warm, beautiful, sunshiny weather. But unfortunately, we've got some rain coming our way. I'll tell you when to expect it later in the show. Brian and Danielle, back to you.
Well, rain makes the trees grow and trees let us breathe, so it's not all bad. But the recent flu outbreak is causing some headaches for a lot of people. Let's go to Michelle in the newsroom. Michelle?
If you haven't been hit with the flu, it's likely that you know someone who has. There's been a sudden outbreak of the virus in South Carolina and other states. Check it out.
When an unusual amount of people don't show up to class or work, it's evident that flu season is in. But this season seems to be more extreme. The Director of Clinical Services for Student Health at USC has seen the effects.
We normally see somewhere between 150 and 160 patients a day. We're seeing days upwards of 180 to 200 patients a day.
USC student Kristen Hayes is especially taking caution as she cares for her flu-stricken boyfriend.
He has been in bed for the past 2 days. I've been wearing a facial mask every time I go around him, like the one you can get from Student Health Center or like any doctor's office. I carry hand sanitizer around with me all the time.
Of these precautions, Dr. Linda Bill from the Department of Health and Environmental Control emphasizes the most important one.
I would say as a professional, but also as a mother, as a daughter, I strongly recommend the flu vaccine. Even if you're young and healthy, I don't think any one of us can afford being off work or out of school.
One of our own newsroom staff was hit hard by the fast-spreading virus.
Having the flu makes it stressful because you're told to rest, but then at the same time you can't because you really gotta, start doing schoolwork.
The number of people affected by the virus has increased in recent weeks.
And we've seen almost 15,000 hospitalizations. We've had a number of flu deaths. So it is a severe flu season, and we just reiterate those prevention measures.
Take a look at this national map, and you see that a surveillance report estimates that a majority of the states have been affected, South Carolina being one of them. Take it a little bit more locally, and we see that there have been a significant number of deaths in the Midlands, with the Low Country being next, and Upstate at the fewest with 2. We are seeing a great deal of activity, mainly in the Midlands of South Carolina, because of it being an urban setting. But one common denominator is that the flu shot is the best way to prevent it, even though it's not too late to get it. In addition to getting vaccinated, DHEC wants to reiterate
the need for people to drink fluid, rest, and maintain hygiene to prevent the virus from spreading. An Illinois pet food maker is recalling one of its products after 4 dogs became sick and 1 died after eating a certain can of food. A woman from Washington fed her 4 dogs Evanger's hunk of beef dog food, and all 4 became ill. She took them to the vet and found out one of the dogs died. A potential contaminant called pentobarbital was found in the stomach of the dog that passed away. If eaten by animals, it can cause side effects such as dizziness, nausea, and in rare cases, death. Avengers recalled all cans of their hunk of beef food as a precaution and terminated their relationship with the meat supplier. Avengers issued a statement saying they will be willing to pay for all veterinary bills of the dogs that fell ill to the contaminated food and will make a donation to an animal shelter in honor of the dog that died from the food.
In Charlotte, one teacher isn't starting off his day with attendance. Barry White Jr. starts off his 5th grade class with personalized handshakes for every student. in all 3 of his classes. White is a literacy teacher and wanted to find a better way to connect with his students. White says it is important to build trust, and these handshakes are a way to get the students to be excited about school.
He does his lesson because he does it fun. He does it the fun way.
White has made handshakes with other educators, older and younger students, and also volunteers. The 7th annual Repticon was here in Columbia this weekend. Reptiles of all kinds were at the event that drew in large crowds. Find out more coming up.
Adopt a big dog, unless you have a small apartment. But if you have a little grass, get off your ass. Adopt a dog, adopt a dog, adopt a big dog, and you will have a bigger friend. Adopt a big dog, give him a home he can defend. Ooh.
Reptile lovers were drawn together this weekend for the 7th annual Repticon. The event featured hundreds of different reptiles and brought in large crowds. Our Tiffany Lewis was at the event and has the story.
Lizards, turtles, and snakes, oh my. The annual Repticon event slithered into Columbia this weekend, drawing fans both big and small.
Because I like snakes.
The event featured over 100 different species, and over 400 reptile-loving humans showed up for the 2-day event.
Any kind of exotic animal I'm all about. I think it's really cool.
Now, creatures like these might seem out of the ordinary to most, but here at Repticon they're just as common as cats and dogs. And today we learned what a special place they can hold in someone's heart.
I used to breed bird dogs and, other furry animals, but eventually I went, 100% to the reptiles. And, it's been a passion of mine and my wife's for the last 15 or go close to 18 years now, really.
And their passion has grown. Their company, Jungle Jewels, currently travels all over the country selling reptiles and their custom homes.
I do 40 shows a year.
Ross has always had the passion for reptiles, but his wife took some convincing.
Well, I've always had it, and she never understood it until she saw one of my baby tortoises and the actual personality that the tortoises had. And she said, wow, she's so much different than the other one.
Ross and his wife spent 13 years traveling to shows together, but about a month ago, that all changed.
We went into the hospital just after the first of the year. We weren't expecting it at all, and then 4 days later, she had passed away.
Ross lost his wife to pneumonia, but says her hard work is what kept Jungle Jewels going.
If it wasn't for all of her work and hundreds of hours on the computer, doing everything from marketing and sales posters and Facebook, and she worked Facebook like a street corner girl,
As for the business, Ross plans to keep building in Debbie's honor.
But yeah, she was my life, and she is Miss Jungle Jewels. Everyone knows her as Miss Debbie, and her legacy is the business, so we're going to keep it going.
Showing even the most skeptical of reptile lovers that with these critters, there's more than meets the eye. For Carolina News, I'm Tiffany Lewis.
The Repticon event is located at the Jamil Temple. The event is held twice a year here in Columbia and will return in early July.
A deputy is charged in South Carolina for child pornography. According to the state, Deputy Chris Wilbanks pretended to be a teenage boy named Redneck Rick on social media. Wilbanks pressured an 11-year-old girl into sending him naked pictures. Wilbanks also threatened to send the pictures to other people unless the girl continued to send them to him. Dozens of pictures were sent to Wilbanks, and in most of the pictures the young girl sent, she appeared to be crying. When police questioned Wilbanks, he said he threw his phone into a creek, but police were able to trace the conversations on the girl's phone. Chris Wilbanks was fired Friday after being a deputy for 18 years.
The Nickelodeon Theater on Main Street has been a part of Columbia's history for over 3 decades, and this month it is showcasing history. For free, Carolina News reporter Eric Cirillo has more.
Tickets bought. Popcorn popped. Candy stocked. It's showtime at the Nickelodeon. It's the first Monday in February, and people are filing into the theater on Main Street to catch more than just a movie. The Black Stories series is an event that takes place every Monday night during Black History Month to educate the public about the civil rights history in Columbia.
We ended up getting a grant that allowed us to actually do several screenings for free, so then it blossomed. We ended up doing an entire series every Monday throughout the month of February with some varying perspectives on Black culture and Black experience.
Columbia 63 has partnered with the Nickelodeon to showcase history and bring the past to the present.
Well, it's an opportunity to educate people about the untold story of civil rights history in Columbia. Tonight's showing is about the Freedom Rides, which actually took place here in South Carolina as well.
Each showing features a Q&A panel following the film that allows the audience to interact with the panelists and hear their stories.
There are 3 people who are with us tonight who have very clear and vivid memories of these events. And I think it's very important, in addition to the film itself, but to hear firsthand accounts of people who witnessed these important historical moments.
And remind us of how far we've come.
And so it's a reminder of the constant struggle, and that these events, which were 60 years ago, have direct bearing on who we are today.
Eric Cirillo, Carolina News.
If you are interested in attending a show, the theater will be showing the film The Black Power Mixtape next Monday.
Well, Caitlin is still out there on the horseshoe. How are things looking out there?
Well, sorry to say, but you better enjoy the spring-like weather while you can, because we've got rain and cold temperatures coming our way. I'll tell you when to expect it, coming up next.
One of my biggest passions in life is animals. That's why I've worked with Morris Animal Foundation for over 40 years. Morris Animal Foundation is a world leader in helping animals live longer, healthier lives. You can too. Just show your support at morrisanimalfoundation.org.
To help cats, dogs, horses, and wildlife live healthier lives, visit morrisanimalfoundation.org, where we are advancing science that will create a healthier tomorrow for animals.
I wanted to be in the military since I was a kid.
I served a total of 16 years.
And at 19 years old, that's the first time I ever saw somebody die.
Coming back, I was raging.
I started having pretty horrible nightmares.
I started drinking a lot.
I guess I never recognized it in myself.
It all starts with going to the VA. There's a whole community of veterans that just want to help you out.
It's for the guys who couldn't come back, so you owe it to them to live well, because they're not here with their families.
We've had some great weather this past week. It honestly hasn't felt like a typical February.
No, it hasn't at all. Actually, if you take a look currently in Columbia, you can see that we've had 76-degree weather today. It's been amazing, beautiful, sunshiny outside. It's a humidity of 45. We've had a little bit of wind, about 14 miles per hour, but nothing too windy, so you can still go out and enjoy that nice long walk. All over the state, you can see there's 76 degrees, 75, 74, nice all across the board, really good weather. Really, it's not common for this time of year. 59 degrees is normally the average, so February, it's been amazing. If you see, you can tell that there's been a high pressure system coming up from the Gulf, which is why we've been having a lot of scattered storms. It's going to move on up through the night and into the early morning hours. But by the time you get out on the road, it should be cleared up. It'll be nice and good. Over to the west, there's going to be another system moving in. It's going to bring this cold front, so it's going to get a little bit chillier over the next couple of days. You can see that it's going to continue to go down, but it's going to clear up a lot of that scattered storm. So by Thursday, it's going to get clear skies on into the weekend. It's going to get a lot clearer. Will be a little bit chillier though. So if you want to do anything, I'd get it done today, or you're going to have to wait until the weekend. Tonight's lows are going to be 57 in Columbia, 58 in Hilton Head, 60 in Myrtle Beach. So it's going to be chilly. Get that jacket out into the nights and in the early AM hours. Tomorrow it's going to be 75. We have a chance to hit a record-breaking heat tomorrow. If we hit 76 degrees, it will be the first time that we've hit that since 1965. So like I said, February, this is so crazy to have this kind of weather. It feels amazing. I love every second of it. On into our 5-day forecast. As I said, there's going to be a little bit of rain tonight and into the early morning hours. Moving on through Thursday, it's going to be partly cloudy. Friday and Saturday, it's going to be nice. So if you've got any plans this weekend, it'll be really nice and sunny. Still a little bit chilly though, so I'd save going outside to the park until later on in the afternoon.
I'm going to hold on to this nice weather, but I'm hoping it's going to hold nice this weekend when we have some good sports.
Oh yeah. I'm excited about that.
Find out how USC teams are warming up for their upcoming seasons and some big changes that are coming to the football program. Next on Carolina News.
My little girl loves to play outdoors. It's just too hard to keep her inside. I really don't have enough time to play with her, and she cries if I don't let her out. She does bring home some disgusting things. I don't know what she gets up to while she's gone, but she always comes back.
You wouldn't treat your child this way. Why is it okay for your cat? Please, be responsible. Keep your cat indoors.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Right here. I know I've got my ticket for tonight's basketball game, but what else is happening in sports, Princess?
Well, baseball has a lot going on, as well as men and women's basketball. They're really killing it in SEC. The baseball team is ready to slide into home plate. This weekend, the players warmed up with their second scrimmage. The team plans on hitting it out of the park for their upcoming season. Junior left-handed pitcher John Park says the scrimmages have really whipped the team into shape and that he's looking forward to making it to the championships.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
Coming up also, just yesterday the team announced their first rotations for the opening game. Junior right-hander Clark Schmidt will be opening Friday, junior right-hander Will Crow on Saturday, and sophomore right-hander Adam Hill to open up on Sunday. They will play UNC Greensboro for opening weekend at 4 p.m., 2 p.m., and 1:30 at the Founders Day Park. Yesterday, after 2 seasons, USC football defensive line Boosie Whitlow announced his decision to transfer. He tweeted saying, "Just wanted to say that I thank the University of South Carolina for an incredible opportunity to accomplish many things and wanted to say I wish the best for the upcoming season, but I will be furthering my education elsewhere." Whitlow had 14 tackles in all 12 games during his freshman season. In 2015, he rated the nation's number 38 weak-sided defensive end, and he is the 4th player to announce his transfer. Saturday, the men's basketball team, slam dunked on the Georgia Bulldogs. Senior guard Dwayne Notice came in with 3 assists and 3 steals from senior Justin McKee and Sindarius Thornwell. Sophomore guard PJ Dozier landed his 7th 20-point game of the season, followed by 3-pointers from players Thornwell and Notice, making the ending score a 75-77 win for the Gamecocks. Thornwell says the key to the win is defense and plans to keep his eye on the prize.
My main goals for the team is, to make the NCAA tournament, and now win the SEC championship. I think we have a good chance at both things, as long as we take care of business and keep playing the way we've been playing.
The men's basketball team will play Alabama tonight at 6:30 at the Colonial Life Arena. Sunday, the Lady Gamecocks took down Arkansas with a huge 79-49 win. Senior center Elena Cotes and junior forward Aja Wilson led the way by scoring 18 points and 19 rebounds. They hit a season high by shooting and scoring 90% of their shots from the free throw line. The team is number 1 in the SEC. The Lady Gamecocks will play Auburn this Thursday at 7 p.m. at the Colonial Life Arena. Junior guard Alicia Gray has been selected for the Dawn Staley midseason watch list. The award honors the top guard in NCAA Division I women's basketball. Gray is one of the 19 students-athletes selected for the award.
Coming up, CCAM's newest addition to the family.
The women we love, the women who love us, They are dying. Heart disease is our #1 killer, taking more lives than all forms of cancer combined. But we have the power to save those lives, our lives, because the greatest force for women is women. It's time to stand together, to fight harder, to shout louder. It's time to go red for women.
Who doesn't want a shiny new electronic device? Sure, back home there's a garage or a basement full of old electronics that we don't talk about. But old electronics aren't garbage, and they're not useless. They're full of parts and materials that can be recycled into new electronics or donated to some wonderful causes. That flip phone and old computer can still live on. Recycling electronics is the green thing to do. It's the right thing to do, and it's so easy. Log on to greenergadgets.org and enter your zip code to find the recycling center nearest you.
Explain this to me again.
Okay, we got hammered today, right?
Yeah.
Well, so did a lot of our fans. They go to each other's homes and have game watching parties.
What he's saying is, while Bob was out there getting blitzed, sorry, Bob.
It's okay.
Our fans were getting blitzed.
Why do you think we're still in these pads? They're out there driving home now, too.
Game watching parties can make drunk drivers. Pass up that drink or pass off your keys.
Although Carolina Panthers quarterback Cam Newton was not in the Super Bowl this year, he was still winning. Newton's longtime girlfriend, Kia Proctor, gave birth to a baby girl over Super Bowl weekend, the couple's second child. Many believe Newton may have hinted that he was expecting a baby girl back on December 24th when he wore rose gold colored cleats during pregame warmups. There seems to be a trend with the Newtons, as their first child, named Chosen Newton, was also born during a big weekend, on Christmas Eve 2015.
Well, it seems like the baseball team is a great time to start having games with the weather being so warm and nice.
Oh yes, it's perfect weather right now to go out and watch a game, play a game with your kids, have the whole family there. Like you can see, Wednesday and Thursday we're going to have a little bit of colder weather. On into the weekend it's going to be a little bit chilly, but it'll be super nice and sunny. So afternoons it'll be great. So Friday and Saturday, 57 and 67. At night, you might want to bring your jacket on into the early morning hours because it's going to be super chilly in the morning, but bring a spare set of clothes because Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, it's going to be perfect to go out on the park, just eat with your kids, walk your dog. Oh yeah.
Sounds like a great weekend.
Yeah, it sure will be.
Yeah, I'm really excited, but that's all the time we have today, and thanks so much for being with us.
See you tomorrow and have a great evening.